Looking at these pictures, it's amazing how time flies. I keep saying it, but take me back, John. 20 years ago today, what was going through your mind?
It was a busy morning. I'd had a briefing with our team managers. I'd been into the city to calm Michael Knight down, and then we would have had a coordination commission meeting. Then I would have been back out here with the team before we proceeded over to the main stadium. But it was an amazingly exciting day, and the buzz in the village with our athletes was just unbelievable.
And not just the athletes, what about the city, John?
The city was on fire. I lived in the village, and I went back to the, it was the first time I went, other than the morning meetings, early morning, I went down there that night, and I couldn't just believe, we had a place at the Rocks, the AOC, for our corporates. I went there and just couldn't believe the city was on fire, as you say.
Can you speak honestly about exactly what you thought when Cathy Freeman lit the flame to the cauldron and then it got stuck for those 4 or so minutes? What was going through your mind then?
I'd marched in with the team, and I was standing out in the middle with 3 or 4 girls from the women's 8, and they're going, "John, is this meant to be happening?" And I'm going, no. I knew we'd had trouble with it. We'd thrown a lot of money into the engineering in recent times. This was an IT problem in the end. And in my own mind, I said, "I'll just leave the bloody thing there, and we'll pretend that's what was meant to happen. We'll get it up the next day." But finally, the whiz kids on the computers got it going, and it went up, and it was all part of the drama, I think. But I had my moments, and nothing like Cathy had. You can imagine how she felt with the instructions in her ear, and the gas was running out in the container that was to carry it up to the top. So there was also the risk that it might have stopped halfway once they got it going. Anyway, we got through that little problem. Yeah,
and then that was pretty much the only real major obstacle or major problem that you had throughout the whole course of the game. So can I ask you, were the games something that you could actually enjoy, or were you just a ball of stress the whole time?
No, I did enjoy. My work was mainly mainly completed mid-morning, and I just made it my point to. I had a lot of good support around me in the village. My job as the leader of the team was to get out and watch as many of our teams perform as possible. So that was just a wonderful and unique privilege that I had, and to be with these athletes, regardless of the outcome, was just a wonderful time.
What was your moment of the games, John? I mean, a lot of people say different things, Cathy Freeman lighting the flame, or Cathy Freeman's gold medal, or, it was Ian Thorpe's 3 golds, or even, Eric the Eel Musambani. That was a great moment of the games too. What was your pick?
Well, the 2 Catherine moments, because I was involved in her selection I invited her to light the cauldron. But then the first night, the swimming, Ian first off, and then the 4x100 relay. That morning, of course, McKelly Jones at the Opera House with, I've never seen so many helicopters over top there. She got the silver. We had a lot of highlights then, other swimming highlights, Susie O'Neill, Grant Hackett. The team events were very important, and they were our 3 girls' teams. The women's water polo winning in the last minute, Yvette Higgins scoring. The women's hockey team, who went through undefeated and beating Argentina 3-1. And the one we didn't win was also very exciting, the girls' basketball making it through to the final against the USA. And Laurie Lawrence led us all from the village across to, somehow he got us through, and we got all the team members, as many as we could, seats in there, and the repartee between our athletes and the American athletes was quite something. The friendly jousting, and our girls did brilliantly. So the 3 team events, I could go through all.
Yeah, you could go through the whole lot. Well, I mean, when you've looked at the game since, do you still put Sydney at the top of the list?
Yeah, I do. I'm careful with my British friends, but no, this was the best ever. And the best ever it was a wonderful performance by our team. The organisation was outstanding. We owe a lot of thanks to government, the organising committee, Michael Knight and all of those people. We owe a massive vote of thanks to the volunteers for that special feeling that they engendered, and I'm pleased that many of them are here today.
Yeah, well, I just read some stats this morning, John. We had 46,967 volunteers. 53% of them were women. Those stats I was reading this morning. Now, just finally, John, Tokyo. Do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm putting a lot of time into it, and as of last week, again, speaking to the governor of Tokyo, and she's assured me that they're going to, so far as they're concerned, it'll go ahead with COVID or without COVID. We're assuming COVID at this stage. What's happening is we've done all the scenarios as to what level of COVID there will be, both in Japan and among the 206 National Olympic Committees. And then we're working through now with the Japanese government and World Health Organization all of the countermeasures. So it'll take place exactly in what form and what we won't know until later in the year.